Hi everybody, John Riddle here, and today we've got another great tutorial for you. Today we're going to talk about Autodesk AutoCAD. Now this CAD software is available to use on Windows and Mac OS. It's used by beginners and professionals alike, and we think if you haven't heard of it yet or haven't ever used it, you're really going to enjoy today's tutorial. We're going to show you everything you need to know to start using it right now. As you launch AutoCAD, its Start page opens. Go to open an existing project and select New to start with a new project. In this case, select one of the templates available, fixing settings like unit types, precision, or layer names. Simply pick the default ACAD.DWT template. The new project opens on the main interface, showing a large preview where you realize your design. At the top, there's the ribbon, which contains most of the tools inside AutoCAD. On the right, you get several visualization tools to navigate through your design, and at the bottom you have the command line that we'll cover shortly. You can also use the Minimize button at the top to change the ribbon size and hide or show any tool from the View tab. Come back to the Start page with the Start tab at the top. Let's start with 2D drawing. Any new project is ready for 2D design, as you can see from the gizmo system at the bottom left corner, called User Coordinate System, UCS. This shows the x-axis as a red line for horizontal direction and the y-axis as a green line for vertical direction. These axes together define the ground plane or work plane where your 2D design will lay. To begin drawing, open the Home tab and look for the Draw section, collecting all the tools to drop lines and shapes in 2D. Click on the down arrow to change the way to drop the chosen shape, and hover over any button to get additional hints and tips. In this video, we'll cover only the default drawing methods. Enable the Line or Polyline tool and click on the preview to drop straight segments until you press the Escape key. To draw more, enable the tool again by pressing the Enter key. Use the Circle tool to draw a circle with 2 points and the Arc tool to create an arc with 3 points. To drop regular shapes, enable the Rectangle or the Polygon tool. With Polygon, type the number of sides and press Enter. Then define the relationship with the virtual circle containing it. Then fix 2 points. To draw an ellipse, enable the Ellipse tool and fix 3 points. AutoCAD shows a live preview of the object in progress. Undo the drawing with the Escape key, or use Ctrl or Command and Z to undo any shape applied. With the command line at the bottom, you can design shapes by typing commands. For example, type Polyline and press Enter to enable the Polyline tool. At this point, the command line shows several options through blue letters. For instance, type A for Arc and press Enter to drop a curve. Type L, Line, and press Enter to draw a straight segment. Type C to close the polyline shape. You can also select these options with the up and down arrow keys, applying with the Enter key. To check your drawings, use the mouse wheel to zoom in and out. On the right, enable Pan to click and move the preview, using the Escape key to exit. In the top right corner, you get the 3D View cube, setting the project perspective. In 2D projects, this is showing top, such as a top-to-bottom 2D perspective. Use the arrows to rotate by 90 degrees or drag from the circumference to rotate in 2D. To switch to a 3D preview, click on any vertex or side of the 3D View cube. or enable Orbit from the right to 3D rotate the project. In a 3D preview, the UCS shows a third Z-axis in blue color representing the height from the work plane. If you're more familiar with the XZ convention for the work plane, select the UCS, right-click on it, and go to Z-axis, placing the Y-axis on top. In this video, we will use the XY default convention. Now, let's see how to draw 3D solids. The 3D tools may be hidden. In this case, right-click on the top bar and go to Show Tabs, 3D Tools, getting the Drawing Tools under the Modeling section. Enable Box to drop a 3D box by defining its base on the XY work plane, then its height along the Z-axis. You can do the same to draw a cylinder or a pyramid. With the Sphere tool, you can build a sphere by fixing 2 points. All these objects are called 3D solids, shown with their skeleton called wireframe. You can change the way to show these solids from the wireframe view in the top left corner, selecting Realistic or X-ray. To create more complex and custom shapes, you have to understand how to manage and edit basic objects first. If you work in 2D, head to Home, Modify to move, rotate, or scale any shape. Just click on any object to select it, apply with Enter, and then modify the object. Whereas if you're in a 3D environment, make sure to use a 3D wireframe or other views to show a local gizmo when you select any object. This allows you to move 2D and 3D objects across all 3 axes independently. From 3D Tools selection, you can change the gizmo type, such as a Rotate gizmo, to rotate objects across the 3 axes, or the Scale gizmo to scale objects without deforming the original shape. From 3D Tools, Modeling, you get more complex 3D drawing tools. With the Extrude tool, select one or more 2D objects to use as base, apply with Enter, and define the extrusion length to create a 3D solid from these. With the Revolve tool, you select a 2D section, apply with Enter, and then fix 2 points to set the rotation axis. At this point, you need another point to create the 3D solid by rotating the 2D selection around the axis. With the Loft tool, you select 2 aligned 2D sections first and apply with Enter to create a 3D shape from these. With the Sweep tool, select the 2D section to sweep, apply with Enter, then select a path. To build very custom 3D shapes, you have to use the 3D meshes, such as objects made of smaller polygons that you can edit individually. First of all, drop a mesh to start from with either any mesh tool from Modeling or by selecting any 3D solid and going to 3D Tools, Convert to Mesh to get a mesh from such solid. At this point, you can select the entire mesh to edit it with its gizmo, or hold down the Control or Command key to select and edit specific polygons with the gizmo. This way, you can customize the mesh shape as you like. You can also be more accurate by increasing the number of polygons from Mesh at the top, then to Smooth More. When the mesh shape is ready, you can convert it to a 3D solid by typing Convert to Solid, selecting the mesh and hitting Enter. AutoCAD has several drawing aids to ease your drawing. While drawing a line, AutoCAD displays length and angle with respect to the x-axis, following the measurements units saved for the project. Type Units below and press Enter to check and set the units to use, their format, and precision. Moreover, you can type exact values for sides and angles from the keyboard, shifting with the Tab key and using Enter to apply and move to the next drawing step. You get other drawing aids from the bottom right corner. Click on Grid Mode to turn the grid on or off, on Snap Mode to toggle snapping to the grid, and Ortho Mode to draw along the X, Y, or Z axis. Enable Object Snap to snap to green key points like endpoints, centers, midpoints, and much more you can choose from the list next to the button. From these points, dashed guidelines can help to align to perpendicular or parallel directions. When no tools are enabled, the cursor is in selection mode, showing a small square within it. In this case, click on any object to select it and use Ctrl or Command and X, C, and V to cut, copy, and paste it, and undo with Ctrl or Command and Z. Selected objects also display several nodes. Use the squares to move vertices or centers, the rectangles to move sides, and triangles to move faces or 3D extrusions. In case of 2D objects, you can also hover over nodes for more options, such as moving vertices or sides with stretch, removing or adding vertices at midpoints, converting any segment to an arc or back to a line, and adjusting the radius or any arc length. Click on multiple objects to select all of them and modify these simultaneously with the gizmo. You can also select a large group by clicking and dragging clockwise to create a crossing lasso, selecting all objects touching the green region. Click and drag counterclockwise to create a window lasso, selecting objects fully included within the blue region. Deselect all objects with the Escape key. To save your project, click on the AutoCAD icon and go to Save As, saving in a DWG file format. To export your project, go to the Output tab and choose Export. Hey, thanks for watching today's tutorial on AutoCAD. And don't forget, if you want to get better at other softwares, be sure to visit our YouTube channel and our website, where you'll find hundreds of tutorials on all kinds of software to help those skills get better. See you next time.